to finance its operation. Can raise capital to finance its operation as against relying on the state who is sending the content of the meeting to a third party. Anyway. Hope you are hearing me now.
It's streamed on YouTube.
You said?
I think it's being streamed on YouTube.
Okay, so let me continue so that we'll continue from there next week. So once the oil block is incorporated as a legal entity, it can approach banks or financial institutions to raise capital. That also gives the other partners the boldness and courage to approach it the business way, because they know they have the license. With the license, they can raise money to finance their operations and pay their debt, make profit, and pay whatever tax to government. NNPC also will, on behalf of the government, be a borrower for the purpose of the state of government in that, and they will run it and pay back their loan and pay government their profit tax or gains or profit, because they are working for government, but they are owned by government. Government will make money from the sale of crude oil to the incorporated joint venture as a player. Government will also make money from being the owner of NNPC as a participant. Government will make money from both ways in the course of that activity. And I've sent to you the agencies of government that are now in charge. We have the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. I already sent that to you, chapter 3 of the book, as to their functions, their activities, and what they do. You also need to read up on incorporated joint venture in the book. Incorporated joint venture, I don't know which chapter, I'm not sure I sent that to you. IGB, I'm not sure I sent that to you, but you guys will go and read the book there. IGB, incorporated joint venture, is there in what I sent, so you guys can read up on that and other provisions of the law. Before the next meeting, if I get to lay my hands on that incorporated joint venture, I will send to you so that you have an idea. But otherwise, I expect you guys also to go and read up on incorporated joint venture as provided under the Petroleum Industry Act. And read up on other things that are sent to you on Petroleum Industry Act, so that you can well positioned to engage appropriate questions, issues related to the subject. But that is, in a nutshell, is what the law provides. The law says, yes, government can participate through equity, meaning government will hold a stake as a player by having shares of equity. Sometimes government will hold on to 20%, sometimes government may hold on to 30%, government may hold on to 50 or 60, depending on the structure. 2, government may participate without equity. In which case, the government just sells the block and expect payment of royalty. They are not venturing, they are not bearing any risk, they are not investing. Just want to cash and pay me. This is the good oil, you are going to exploit it. If you make money, good luck. Don't make money, I don't share in your loss. Mostly government participate through equity. Sometimes they take on minimal equity. Sometimes they take on major equity. And the way government participates is through joint venture, service contract, and other industry-based contract. GAPA, they write their joint venture agreement, determine the manner which they want to participate. In the case of the old structure, NNPC will be the one representing the government and in partnership with one or two oil companies. For the particular oil block, they were going to call themselves joint venture partners, and they will appoint one of them to be the one to operate. Because all three of them cannot operate to avoid conflict. So one of them will operate and they will be reporting to the other partners. In some oil block, it maybe the managing partner, the operating partner. In some share may be the operating partner. In some it will be the IG that is the operating partner, operating the particular oil block on behalf of others. Then sometimes it is a different model where parties participate through service contract. Some it is only production that they share. Some it is joint venture under the structure that existed. But with the coming on board of petroleum industry that most joint ventures are now supposed to be incorporated as a company. Every oil block is now supposed to stand as a distinct legal entity with capable of being sued in its name, and they can take their license as an incorporated entity to raise money to finance the operation. Government sells crude oil at prevailing international prices to them. NNPC pay for the crude allocated to it, despite being a government entity. They will raise money, net off the debt, and pay for their own operation. In all the respective operations of NNPC, like Saudi Aramco, they are now expected to declare dividend, profit, to the federal government, which is the owner of NNPCL. NNPCL is now being run as a different entity. Unlike the old order, when NNPC was the regulator, NNPC was also an industry player, entering into joint venture partnership with oil companies. We felt NNPC was conflicted, and that was one of the reasons why we changed the old petroleum act to petroleum industry act. And it's a totally different regime. The function of NNPC as a regulator has been taken off. NNPC now operates as a player, while we have Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission in respect of upstream, meaning in respect of crude oil related things. We now have Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, which is in charge of midstream and downstream petroleum sector, including gas, LNG, and the rest. So those are the regulatory bodies in the petroleum industry now. NNPC no longer performs regulatory function, but they still venture as a player in this petroleum industry under the current tariff. Why regulatory function is taken out there. And I've sent materials to you guys to go and read on that so that you get to understand. Let me take one or two questions before I leave you guys. Then on Friday, we're going to go deeper, some guidance as to materials which we already have. I also say a bit more on the joint venture thing and other forms of participation. And I expect you guys to have read the relevant materials that are sent to you so that we can also go the clinical section as to the role, the structure under the current Petroleum Industry Act in terms of contractual obligation and state participation. And we expect at least about 3 or 4 to also engage in kind of discuss as to the role of NNPC and the role of Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission and other entities in the new Petroleum Industry Act, which changes the context different from old. It's important for you to bear in mind that NNPC was a completed entity under the old law. NNPC was a player entering into joint venture agreement and partnership with oil companies, and also a regulator. But how can you regulate because we're a business player? Under the current regime, the roles have been streamlined. NNPC is just a player, and we have 2 different distinct bodies regulating the petroleum sector as defined. So we now need to understand the structure that we have under the current arrangement, and then conclude on that topic, and we'll take the last topic in session. Then we'll continue with that tutorial. Any question for me? Hello, class, any question? Are you guys there?
Yes, sir. Yes, hello, sir.
Any question?
Sir, I have one question.
No question.
I have a question, sir.
Yes, what's the question?
Because I read somewhere that I read somewhere
I'm
that
not hearing you.
Right, sir. Let me disconnect.
You said?
Can you hear me, sir?
Go ahead.
I read somewhere that the purpose of the Petroleum Industries Act was that they wanted to there were a lot of arguments that were against the subsidization of the fuel prices and the likes. That one of the reasons why, I think one of the reasons why they decided to. One of the reasons that
you are hanging. You are not hearing you.
Can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah, make it brief. Just go straight to the point so that you can quickly make your point. Your network is not stable.
Okay, sir. So what I'm saying is that they said that the act, one of the effects of the Petroleum Industries Act was to remove the subsidy, because according to some arguments that I saw, it seemed like the government could no longer.
Go to your question. Yes, go to your question. So what's the question?
Because what I'm trying to confirm now is that I'm just trying to find out what your own position on this particular issue, on the whole subsidy and the effect of the Petroleum Industries Act.
We are not dealing with subsidy here. Yeah, don't bring in political or external issues. We are not dealing with subsidy.
Okay, sir.
We are not dealing with subsidy. We are not dealing with subsidy because there is nothing to subsidize. The petroleum industry provides that NNPC will not buy petroleum, will buy product at prevailing international prices. And I said so in the course of my lecture. So NNPC is not getting any concession as a regulator, as a completed entity before. NNPC is now, if they are lifting 1 million barrel, if they are lifting 1 million barrel of crude oil from a particular oil block, NNPC must account for the 1 million NNPC and other partners that it may seek to work with for the purpose of that particular oil block. They will buy petroleum products at prevailing international rates. It means there's no subsidy. So once they buy the crude, they may They may sell, they may also refine some, no concession, not directly. So if we have petroleum industry that doesn't give room for all those things, that should tell you that subsidy is removed technically. And government doesn't even provide for subsidy in its subsequent budget because it's no longer allowed under the law. If crude oil today sells for $70 per barrel, NNPC and whoever is exploring will calculate that based on the number of crude they supply and bring the money to the federal government. There is a concession for them to produce, make profit, and sell to federal government. So they will do that. NNPC, being federal government representative, will make money for government and remit. Will also make money for government by partnering in the production of crude oil, which should be permitted, as against the old order that we had, which wasn't that kind of transparent or effective. That's the new regime we have now. So subsidies is not there. And it's not something you need to confirm from me because as a law student in the petroleum class, petroleum and energy class, you have known that subsidy is gone. Any other question? I have 1 minute left. It's 2 o'clock already. Any other question?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. So
Yeah,
I just want to confirm that you actually said that you're going to send us the material for this class.
I'm not supposed to be sending you guys materials. I don't want to spoofy students. Nobody did for us. You have your course outline that you know the materials to be used. I have a textbook for those who are interested. I don't post my book on anybody, but there's nothing we are saying that's not in the book. So if students are not getting the book, accessing it in the library, or going to buy it, I'll still not be the one giving them materials. Well, that's not my job. I always send those materials to your class rep, which I'm sure he has sent to you, and I will never do that again. When you give materials to students, they don't read it, they get lazy. And I give you about 8 chapters of the book, which I think will be relevant to you guys. The only one I've not given is about incorporated joint venture, and I will not give that deliberately so that you guys will go and read up on the incorporated joint venture under the new Petroleum Industry Act. And the only way to do that is to go and do your own research and also get the book. So when I come, maybe Friday, I will talk about incorporated joint venture and other aspects. And I will raise that question for you guys to deal with. So about the operation of the petroleum sector under the Petroleum Industry Act as it relates to contractual obligation and state participation. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you, sir.
The incorporated joint venture is part of the book, just that I've not extricated that specifically for you guys. I'm not sure it's not even included in one or two of the chapters sent to you. You guys will figure that out. But the materials are all out there and especially to read it. So I won't be the one to students. Here's one student that kind of this should do their job. They're the ones questioning for knowledge. So what I can do is to when I get home later today, tomorrow, I'll send to your class rep the pages of the book where you will have incorporated joint venture. And I expect you guys to also read up on that to beef up your knowledge because it's a very vital aspect of it. And it's dim thought, but I'll still emphasize it when I come. Okay, have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.